Welcome to the Interactive Lab for Custom Enrollments, Zero-Touch Deployment, and the End User Experience. In today's lab, our overall goal will be getting a live look at how we can customize the end user experience while also allowing you to do that ideal workflow of zero-touch deployment. Overall, creating that personalized onboarding experience while allowing you to be hands-off. I'd like to give you a warm welcome to Virtual JNUC 2020. I'm glad you're here. Now for some formalities. I'm pausing here for a brief moment for you to review our forward-looking statement. It will also be available for a detailed review if you'd like under Resources. My name is Lana Trung, and I'm a sales engineer here at Jamf. I started in June of 2019, and this will be my second JNUC. My claim to fame at last year's JNUC was being the person behind the phone screen of the Facebook Live during the keynote on day one when the Wi-Fi cut out at the venue. I was also showcased in the Jamf at Work video for day two. Coincidentally enough, showing zero-touch deployment in action. I am so glad to be part of the first ever virtual JNUC and to be presenting for you all today. Here's a quick look at our agenda for today's interactive lab. As the title suggests, we will be going through enrollment customizations, zero-touch deployment, and the end user experience. First, we're going to start off with understanding the why behind all of it. Why do any of this? Next, we'll learn about what zero-touch deployment actually is, because I know sometimes it seems like a buzzword being thrown around. Then, a quick overview of enrollment customizations and the capabilities surrounding it. After, we'll walk through the two workflows and I'll show you how to set it up in your very own environment. You can either follow along with your own test devices and instance as I explain each step, or listen and reference the handout when you're ready to try it on your own. We'll conclude this session with the most exciting part, seeing it in action from the end user's perspective. Sometimes as an admin, you see all of the setup involved, but not the end result. We wanted to turn the tables for you and allow you to utilize virtual machines to go through that zero-touch deployment with enrollment customizations and play around a bit. We wanted to make this interactive lab as interactive as possible, even behind a screen. I will be available for questions every step of the way and during this process, and we'll wrap up this lab session with a final Q&A as well. To give you an idea of the timing of everything, the background information and explanation will be around 5 to 7 minutes. The walkthrough of the two workflows will take about 15 to 20 minutes, and the rest of the time will be all yours to get hands-on with those VMs. Now, let's get started. Time to move on to the first part of the agenda. Before we dive into everything technical, I wanted to give you some background on the why. Why custom enrollments? Why zero-touch deployment? Why care about the end user experience? I know for some of you the answer to these questions are because my boss told me to, but it's a lot more than that. There are a lot of reasons why these workflows even exist, why you should care, and why you should use them in your own environment. It'll actually help you more than you would think. There are so many benefits to adding the zero-touch deployment workflow to your environment, starting off with why it helps you as an admin. The time spent provisioning can actually be cut by 80%. This means putting more time back in your day to get all those projects you've been meaning to do done. Long gone are the days that you have to manually touch and configure these devices. It also helps reduce the overall quantity of IT help tickets, creating a streamlined experience for your end user where they can start up the laptop and start working right away means no questions about having to set up certain things. It's already done for them. With the help of pre-stage enrollments combined with enrollment customizations, there is no room for confusions. Now, how it actually helps your end users beyond removing the possibility for confusion, this strong onboarding can improve employee retention rates by 82%. The ease of use for the end user along with the personalized feel with enrollment customizations will help you to start off strong with your end users. Their productivity also increases by 70% as well because of that ease of use, and they can get to working right away. Moving on to what zero-touch deployment actually is. I know that it seems like a buzzword that has already been used at least 10 different times in this presentation. And be prepared because it's going to be used a lot more. But what is it exactly? To understand zero-touch deployment, we must also take a look at other deployment options. Currently, we can either enroll devices with zero-touch deployment, user-initiated enrollment, or a network scan. Previously, imaging was an option for older devices. The technology that allows for imaging has been eradicated in newer devices. It takes a long time and is frankly the worst option. If you ask me if imaging can still be used, let me point you toward isimagingdead.com, where it will give you your answer. Spoiler alert, the answer is yes. Imaging is dead. Now, for the best case scenario workflow of zero-touch deployment. It uses automated device enrollment, which is automatically enrolling those devices over the air, rather than user-initiated, where your end users would follow a link to click through the enrollment process. This is going to guarantee adoption. It's able to give your end user that true out-of-box experience. Because you don't have to manually touch the device and Jamf Pro is doing it all for you, you're able to ship it directly to the end user after purchasing. Not only with the help of automated device enrollment, where it's automatically enrolling these devices, but together with Jamf Pro, you're also deploying out all the applications, profiles, and policies that they need as well. It's a seamless process to get them all ready and onboarded. Pretty neat, right? Now on to Enrollment Customizations. Released in Jamf Pro 10.15, it's given some wonderful options to create a great experience for the end user during zero-touch deployment and automated device enrollment. Enrollment Customizations create a branded, unique experience. Utilizing Markdown for formatting, you're able to create custom panels during the pre-stage, like displaying an end-user license agreement, other company policies, really anything to your heart's content. Add photos, embed YouTube videos, or just plain text. You're able to choose different color codes with HTML color choices, and a photo or GIF of your choice for consistent branding. The options are truly endless. I know these workflows seem too good to be true at times. Really? Just ship the device to the end user and your worries are gone? A customized experience that means fewer IT tickets? Let's walk through the workflows and show you exactly how to do it so you can create it in your own environment. If you would like to follow along on your own devices, I will give you a moment to bring up your test environments and your test devices. There will also be a handout in the reference documents that you can save and review when you are ready to try out. Now, let's jump right in, starting with Enrollment Customizations because that is the first part of the title of this interactive lab. There are 3 steps to the Enrollment Customizations workflow. The pre-stage panels, where you can configure single sign-on panels with Jamf Connect, or setting up LDAP authentication. You can include YouTube videos and photos and customize the text to be seen during enrollment. Then, moving into branding and preview, where you can use a PNG or GIF of the logo of your choice, whether that be your company's logo, your school's logo, or just something fun. You're able to choose color selections for the background, text, and buttons, as well as previewing what you previously created for the pre-stage panels. This gives you a look at what you created for the deployment without having to enroll a test device to see that end user experience. You're able to preview the appearance for all types of devices, macOS, iOS, and iPadOS. Finally, you'll add that enrollment customization to your selected pre-stage enrollment, whether that be one that has been previously created or a brand new one. Now, time to focus on step 1 of the enrollment customizations workflow. As previously mentioned, this is where you can configure single sign-on, LDAP, text, videos, you name it. Let's navigate into your all settings in your test environment. Under Global Management, you'll see Enrollment Customizations. If you want a shortcut, you can go to your all settings and hit Command F and type Enrollment Customizations, and it will get you there just as fast. I know sometimes there's a lot of text on the page, and it always seems like I can never find the one that I'm looking for. After you click Enrollment Customizations, click on New, and it'll bring you to a page that looks like this. This is where you will create your new enrollment customization. Add in a display name and a description of this enrollment customization. I'll give you a few seconds to fill this in now. This can either be a general name or a specific one based on who you'd like to deploy it out to. Onto the pre-stage panes. First, you'll have to type in a display name. The display name is only visible to the admin and anyone who can view the enrollment customizations. It's not actually visible to the user. There are 3 different pane types: text, single sign-on authentication, and LDAP authentication. Looking at the text pane, you're able to choose a title for the pane, which is visible to your end user. So you'll want to name it something like Welcome or End User License Agreement. Overall, just describing what's occurring on the pane during the enrollment process. The body is where you can use Markdown to embed YouTube videos or add photos. You're also able to copy and paste something like a EULA or anything else you may desire. It is required to name the previous and next button text. It can either be something as simple as previous and next, or you can name it something different like back or onwards. Get creative with it. You're also able to have the next button text be a confirmation as well. I confirm or I agree are some great options for this. I'll give you a minute to fill out a text pane with an example that you'd like. The next pane type is single sign-on authentication. You're able to pass this user information onto Jamf Connect as they sign in utilizing your single sign-on of choice. Jamf Connect supports Okta, Microsoft Azure AD, Google Cloud Identity, IBM Cloud Identity, OneLogin, and Ping Federate. If utilizing this single sign-on pane, you would have to pre-configure your single sign-on in the all settings to make sure it's all good to go when creating this pane for authentication. Same goes for the LDAP authentication as well. You'll designate the text for what you want the login to say and add in the specific LDAP groups that you have already created and set up in your all settings. I'll take a pause here for anyone who wants to quickly try and set up either the SSO pane or the LDAP authentication pane. As previously mentioned, Markdown syntax is allowing us to customize these text panes even further with bolding and italicizing words, embedding YouTube videos, and adding photos. Here's a look at how exactly you'll do this in the text pane. Markdown is used in many parts of Jamf Pro, like self-service, maintenance pages, and user-initiated enrollment. I'll stop on this page for you to try it out on the text pane you created earlier. On to step 2, branding and preview. Next to the General tab where we just created our pre-stage panels, click on Branding and Preview. It'll take you to a page that looks just like this. Starting with the icon. This is where you'll select your GIF or PNG of a logo or image of your choice. You can either browse for your file or just drag and drop. You're also able to select the color scheme for your panes as well. You can customize the body text color, the button text color, and the background color. Once again, these can be any HTML color code. I'll pause again so you can get to customizing and adding in your personal branding. That was the branding part of the Branding and Preview tab. Now, time to preview. Take a look at those color combinations that you chose and how those different photos and text panes appear. You can see the background color with your branding and how it all ties together. You can click on Mac, iPhone, and iPad to see how it looks as it changes with the size of the device. Finally, the last stage of the Enrollment Customizations workflow, adding it to the pre-stage. Let's put it to work. When looking at your pre-stage enrollments, it'll give you the option to select the enrollment customization we just created. No pre-stage setup yet? Have no fear. That's our next workflow walkthrough, and it segues me into my next slide. The zero-touch deployment workflow. Once again, 3 steps. Prepare, purchase, and deploy. We will first prepare by ensuring that you have Apple Business Manager or Apple School Manager. This is key when it comes to the zero-touch deployment workflow. You're going to link that account to Jamf Pro, and this is where you'll create the pre-stage enrollments needed for zero-touch deployment and configure the enrollment settings. Next, purchase. In order to have an out-of-box experience, you'll need new devices. Order the hardware from Apple directly or through a verified reseller. Then, you'll assign those devices to the enrollment. Last, you'll deploy. Send the devices straight to the end user. They'll start up their brand new devices right out of the box, and those devices are automatically enrolled. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Notice how you didn't have to touch those devices at all? You don't have to lay a single finger on those devices. This workflow is named the way it is for a reason. It truly is zero touch. Part 1. Prepare. Like I said, you'll need an Apple Business Manager or Apple School Manager account. If you aren't already signed up, I would recommend you do that right now. If you're already signed up, I'll wait so you can log in. Now that you're either signed in to your Apple Business Manager or Apple School Manager, click Settings and then find Device Management Settings. As you can see, there's a little icon where you can add an MDM server. Give it a unique name. You will then upload the public certificate key. This public certificate key is found by navigating back into Jamf Pro, into your All Settings, under the Global Management tab, and in Automated Device Enrollment. Click on that and then select Public Key. It will automatically download, and then you'll go back in Apple Business Manager or Apple School Manager. You'll upload that public certificate key, hit save, and then you'll get a server token. That server token will need to be uploaded into Jamf Pro. Flip back into Jamf Pro and back into Automated Device Enrollment. Click New. Name this workflow and upload the server token. And ta-da! You've linked Apple Business Manager or Apple School Manager to Jamf Pro to achieve the first step of the zero-touch deployment workflow. I know it's a bit of back and forth, so I'll stop while you get that configured. Now that that's been handled, let's create that pre-stage. Located under Computers and Enrollment, we will see Pre-Stage Enrollments. When you click on it, it'll bring you to a page that looks like this. Go ahead and click New. Let's go ahead and name this pre-stage. You'll also be able to select the automated device enrollment instance that we just set up. You can choose to automatically assign new devices to this pre-stage as well, as they're added into your Apple Business or School Manager. Fill out as much or as little as you'd like here. You can also see that we're able to select that custom enrollment that we created earlier as well, really tying everything together. For things that you actually want to configure during the pre-stage, you're able to choose those things as well. With the Setup Assistance options, you're able to select things that you don't want to see during the enrollment process. By doing this, you're creating that streamlined experience for your end users and making sure that they're only setting up or clicking through the things that you want them to see, taking away the confusion of things that they don't need, and ultimately reducing the number of IT tickets or calls you get. You can configure account settings, set up your configuration profiles, user and location information, purchasing information, attachments, certificates, and enrollment packages to deploy during this pre-stage and as the user is getting started on their device. This ensures that they're getting everything they need right away. I'll pause here for you to click around and complete this pre-stage with all of those aspects that you want. That was the prepare portion of this workflow. Now, on to step 2, purchase. Purchasing your new devices either from Apple directly or a verified reseller. These devices will show up in your Apple Business Manager or your Apple School Manager. When that happens, you'll be able to scope those pre-stages to those specific devices that are already living in your Apple Business or School Manager. You can select the ones you'd like to deploy these pre-stages out to, or just automatically assign all new devices to this pre-stage as well. And finally, step 3, deploy. This step puts the deploy in zero-touch deployment. This is where you'll ship it directly to your end users for them to have this out-of-box experience and get all set up with their devices. What does that look like for them, you may ask? Well, that leads me to the final part of this interactive lab session. From the end user's perspective. We've gone through enrollment customizations, zero-touch deployment, And now it's finally time to see everything come together from the end user's perspective. We've got everything set up for you so you can experience this for yourself utilizing virtual machines. Please navigate over now to jamf.it/JNUC 2020 Labs by either typing it in or using this QR code. Type in your email, and from there you'll receive your credentials to use the virtual machines and truly experience this from the end user's perspective to actually get that end user experience. I'll be available for you for questions regarding any part of this session. Thank you so much for attending Custom Enrollments, Zero Touch Deployment, and the End User Experience. I hope that this was a fun interactive lab and that this was helpful for you. Please give us feedback by completing the 2-question survey in the JNUC 2020 app, as all feedback is greatly appreciated. Thank you again.